Mic'd up.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes. Tonight, we have a special guest, former St. Louis Cardinal minor leaguer Leland Tilley has agreed to join us. I don't know what Marty said to him to get him to agree to this, and he's going to regret this for a long time. But thank you, Leland, for joining us. We have Robbie Lanterman, Marty Brown, and Carl Shanks on the panel tonight, along with myself. We are going to grill Leland and embarrass him for the next hour. So let's dive in. I think this is episode 126. Leland was a pitcher with the St. Louis Cardinals organization during 2016 and 2017. He was born in Visalia in 1992 and went to, let's see if I got this high school right, El Diamante High School.
You got it.
Visalia. Then I think you went to the College of the Sequoias.
That's
and
correct.
Then went on to Bellevue University in Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
You were drafted by the Cardinals and played for three different St. Louis Cardinal minor league teams from 2016 through 2017. It says here you won 3 games and lost 0, and your ERA during your time was, I think, below 1. It looks like that's not bad.
It was okay.
Something happened after the 2017 season, and you ended up back in independent baseball with the Lincoln Salt Dogs in 2018. And it appears after that your baseball career ended, and you became a firefighter for a time in the Nebraska area. And then you have moved on to Reno since then and live very close to our friend Marty. And I'm guessing you guys became friends at one of the Aces games. Or
I feel like Leland lost a bet.
Leland lost a bet, yeah. Yeah, how did you two guys meet?
He came to my fiance's restaurant.
Believe it or not, there's this diner in the south end of town that serves a great breakfast. And the lady that runs the place is a very, very pretty lady. And all of a sudden, this big hunk on Sunday morning starts working the counter. So and sure enough, he comes in and helps the very pretty lady run. Is she the co-owner?
Basically, yeah. It's her family,
okay.
So she runs one location.
Leland and Carrie are engaged, so he runs the counter on Sundays. So I usually show up on Sunday, and we talk baseball, we talk sports, we talk all that kind of stuff. And like you're right, he lost the bet, and now he's paying penance being here on the show for tonight.
We talked so much baseball that my fiance was getting mad that I wasn't working because I just enjoyed talking baseball with him. We hit it off ever since, so it was great. Now he comes like every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Yep.
I look forward to those days.
What does he order?
He does corned beef hash and
that checks out.
Sausage patty.
Nice.
Yeah. Usually he's got a usual, and every time she just says, "Are you having the same thing?" and he just says, "Sure."
They won't allow me to order anything else. They know me.
I was gonna guess salad, but I guess
we don't have those there. We like hard meals.
Well, so from what I understand, your dad works in the Visalia School District, and he is he a PE teacher?
That's what he does. Yes,
Uh-huh.
physical education. He does all that, and actually, so does my brother. He kind of followed those footsteps, and now they both coach together. Actually, at one of my rival high schools. So it's kind of funny to watch him, to hear him talk about their teams and what they're doing. Because really, I don't care, but you know, I love that. I love that they're doing it together. It's really cool. I mean, my dad was always my coach, so I know he's got a lot to offer.
Did you tell Dad that you're on the show tonight?
I told him that we were doing this, so I don't know if they quite figured out how to log in or to watch it, but
okay. Well,
I'll make sure that
Leland
they get on.
Senior, if you're listening to this show and you want to leave us a question or a comment, tap the microphone at the bottom of the screen, and a 30-second timer will start. You have 30 seconds to leave us your question or comment or insult, whatever it might be, and we will play it live on the air to embarrass our guest. All right. Hey, let's kick things off because we've got a lot of questions. Robbie, why don't you give Leland a question, and we'll go down that path.
All right. I'm going to kind of start a little bit backwards, I guess. This seems like a question you would ask at the end of an interview, but I'm going to ask it before we all have too much to drink. Years playing minor league baseball, what did you learn about baseball that most people wouldn't know unless they actually experienced what you did?
Oh, I just think mostly it's the time and the dedication you got to put into that, like every single day. I mean, we would wake up 6, 7 in the morning, and we're doing workouts, and then you got films and all the, you know, the mind development of being a baseball player and a pitcher, and then you would go from that, and then it's, you know, more workouts, more conditioning, and then throwing. But honestly, it was just, I think minor league baseball from college was a lot more individual based. I mean, everything was what I put into it rather than college. You know, it's a team. Not that it's not a team thing, but you know, in college, it's what can I do to help this team win, and we all want to succeed for each other. And so I think as I progressed and played minor league ball, it was very individual based, and you're kind of looking out for yourself to, you know, keep climbing that ladder to make it up to the big leagues eventually. But that was stumped for me.
Yeah, that
Okay.
actually was one of the questions I had for you too for later, was the balance between a team dynamic and the individual pursuit of what you're trying to do. That had to be really challenging.
It was, but I think what helps too is you have so many other minds that have played this game before, and you know, you can bounce so many ideas off of each other, and messing around with grips and how you attack hitters, what you're looking for hitters when they're standing in the box, and all that kind of stuff like that. So I think the mental side of that game really grew for me as I played professional ball rather than in college, because you know, you just have all these resources that left and right of you.
Did you ever find a guy like trying to mislead you? Oh yeah, pronate your wrist a little more. The guy you're competing with.
When I was pitching really well, everybody else was kind of like, all right, I think you should try this, you know, because they wanted that opportunity. But I mean, we all kind of did. It was fun. Nobody ever really did it in a deliberate way. It was all just how we're all sitting here, you know, just joking around, but great experiences.
That sounds
excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, what do you got?
I was just wondering, you know, you're going through minor league ball, and you're on a roster that's got multiple pitchers on it. You know, typically your infielders, you might have a backup for shortstop or a backup at second base, but you probably carry 6 to 7 pitchers on a minor league team of various levels that are always pitching. So how do you guys end up working together, knowing that your end goal is you're trying to move yourself forward to the next level, and that's why you're committing, you know, to your own personal development to do this, but you still have to work with the rest of the teammates and the rest of the pitchers. So is it a real competitive situation, or is it one of those where you still were able to make, comrades and friends and see how things develop with other guys or didn't develop with other guys?
Oh yeah. No, I definitely developed great relationships with pretty much everybody that I played with, and I would say we push each other a lot. I mean, before games, that's all just, I mean, whoever your throwing partner is that day. Usually, I kind of have the same guy. Um, he's actually still playing ball right now, Jordan Hicks, but
Oh,
he was one of the guys that I played catch with a lot, and just half the time he scared the heck out of me because he's throwing 100 plus, sinkers at my shins, and we had to catch each other. That's the craziest part about all of it, because I mean, I'm not a catcher. I just wanted to throw, and I got to try to catch these guys throwing off speed pitches and all this kind of stuff. But really, it helps you in the end because I can see how they're making a ball move and hitting spots and locating their pitches, and I got to try to replicate that. So we kind of make it a competition amongst each other. And I mean, as far as our workouts and all that kind of stuff go, we're always pushing each other. But when it came time to step in between the lines and your time is called to pitch, I mean, that's all you, and you just got to hope that you can go out there and show everybody what you can do.
So did it give you any empathy for that guy behind the plate with all that gear on? As an ex-catcher, I kind of want to know how pitchers think sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, those guys. One of my good friends too, Andrew Kisner, we actually found out that he's playing a little bit of time with the Aces, but we were roommates probably the first couple years when I was in minor league ball, and then he excelled a little bit faster and moved up. But watching him catch and having to catch multiple guys in a day, and even in games too, and having to be sharp and on it, and blocking all these different kind of pitches that move all sorts of different ways, and I got a lot of empathy for him because that's something I didn't want to do. But
Well, we still kind of make a joke on it because we mentioned Kisner was a catcher for a little while with Reno, and me working at the ballpark, and we'd be talking on Sunday, and oh yeah, and he says, yeah, I know him, and we start talking about, and it said we did really wreaked havoc at the diner.
yeah,
trying,
yeah.
trying to get things done. So and we made it out to the ballpark a couple of times, and it's fun for me to go to the ballpark with him because he takes on it's a whole new era that as the schmucks that we all are to go to a ball game with someone who was there and can appreciate it and give you a little fine points of what's happening out there. So I truly appreciate this guy. Yeah.
have you
Excellent,
ever,
excellent.
Leland? You ever throw to a left-handed catcher?
Just my daughter.
Oh yeah, okay, because there's
Or
one
my
sitting
stepdaughter.
behind you.
Yeah. Well, we'll
here.
throw one of these days.
Well,
I'm sure his
let me
daughter
ask
is
you
much
because there's
more.
when we played. As I mentioned before, we played. We all played in, and I still do, in an old man's baseball league.
Okay.
And it was about 5 or 6 years ago as a catcher, and the starter was Sugar Ray Moralovich. These guys all know him, and he and I just had a feeling for each other. You knew what was coming. You felt it, and we were very successful, and it was really super exciting. Just to know that you're in sync with that battery mate, and so I'm sure it's happened a couple of times in your career. Can you elaborate with that?
Oh yeah, I think it's one of the most beautiful things in baseball, and I think you and your catcher just gel, and he knows exactly what you want to throw. He knows what how my stuff moves and how we can attack hitters and put us in the best spot to get that ground ball, to get a double play, to get out of a jam, or get that strikeout you need, and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think it's cool because it's energy. It's like something I could see him and the way he looks at me, and it's exciting. It makes you want to elevate your game and rise to that occasion, because it's just like, I want to do that for you. You want to do it for me. And we both make each other look good.
Yeah.
But I've sailed some balls into the backstop and all that kind of stuff before, and probably embarrass myself and him too, but that's part of the game.
It is. Hey, Leland, I want to ask you about the 2016 NAIA tournament.
Oh man!
On May 27th, Bellevue played Auburn Montgomery, and it lists you as the winning pitcher in the game, making your record 10-1 at the time. This was an extra inning game, and you guys pulled it out in the 10th, 6-5. I'm assuming that in college you were a relief pitcher or okay. 10-1. That's a lot of decisions for a relief pitcher. Tell me about that season and what led up to the tournament and how the tournament went for you guys.
So maybe even just like a little bit behind that, it's that season going into that one, I was throwing over the top, and I was still a reliever, kind of like that fourth or fifth potential starter if we needed to. But it was one day I was kind of playing catch with one of my other guys, and I started messing around with my slot, getting lowered down to almost like sidearm and a little bit lower. And I just saw that my pitches were still the same velocity, but they were moving so much more. And then I was like, I'm going to try it out in an inter squad. I know my coaches may not like that at first, because I didn't tell anybody I was going to do it. And nobody hit it. Nobody was, So I kind of took it and ran with it, and nobody really coached me too much on it. It was more of just like maybe pitch selections and that type of thing. But I probably pitched in over half of those games throughout that season of my senior year, and I think a lot of my other relievers it was like a love-hate relationship, because I think everybody knew that when that game was getting to that crunch time moment and, it was a sink or swim decision to be made, I was going in, and it could be in the sixth inning, and I would pitch the rest of those games, like that game. But it was just, I didn't like to lose, and I think my team knew that. And so every single time I would ask for the ball. I said, I need that ball, and give us the best chance to win. But as far as I know, that was a lot of decisions to have, for my win-loss record that season. And I just remember watching it when I hit I think it was the fourth one. And I was like, for a closer, that does seem like a lot, especially when you are only throwing maybe one inning. But it was a lot of times, it was an amazing team that I had my senior year too. I mean, one of the coolest experiences, and just played with amazing ball players. And, but the crazy part is, a lot of those games I came into, we might've been tied or losing by a couple runs. And it was cool to see the energy of my team elevate when I came in, and because they knew that the other team wasn't going to score. And if we were losing, that we had a shot. So I think as the season went on, that energy and that mentality kept going and grew. And man, the World Series, that was a lot of fun.
I bet.
it was like one of those bittersweet things when it all was over. I remember shedding some tears, and because you just put everything you got into that, and to come up just short by a little bit, that was tough. But man, that game was awesome, and so was the Lewis and Clark game. That was because that was a home game for those guys. That we played on their field.
Uh-huh.
That was probably one of the most electric crowds I got to be a part of. And I remember that game was so back and forth, and I remember getting a big punch out in one of the, I want to say it was to win that game, but maybe two outs of 4. This guy squared up a ball pretty good and hit it down the first baseline, and my first baseman just made this amazing diving catch. And from that moment, I was like, we're not losing this game, because he made that play. We got the out. And then I got that punch out right after that. I was like, we got this. Because, I mean, if we're making plays like that, and, it's a beautiful thing. That's why I love baseball so much, because I think just when you count yourself out and, it doesn't look good, it could turn around just like that. And it's so cool to watch and be a part of.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Hey, let's take a quick break and talk about our sponsor.
Oh, we're already there. Okay. Got to get it out of the Yeti cooler here. All right. As always, 126 episodes, you said? We've been sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Beer Company in Alameda, California. They are truly one of America's great craft brewers. As you know, on the Highlights from Lowlife show, we always take turns talking about the different beers we're drinking tonight. And I finally picked up our latest allotment. So I cherry picked it a little bit. And I got the Almanac Adventureland Pils. Great Pilsner. And Marty loves talking about this, so I hate to steal his thunder, but the beers from Almanac are really rich and flavorful. And yet when you get a Pilsner, it's still got the light body. If you get a stout, you're going to get a big, bold thing. You're never going to be short on flavor, whether it's a light beer or a full, rich, full flavored beer. So this Pils is really crisp and flavorful, and everybody loves the fact that the brewery map is on the label now. So it's pretty cool. I think Leland's got an Almanac. What you drinking, Leland?
I got the Almanac True American Lager.
Nice.
And
Yes.
I think it's nice because it's light but still flavorful, and I don't know, it's refreshing after a long work day. So I do HVAC, so I mean I was down in a crawl space all day today, so this is extremely refreshing.
What do you got, Marty?
Because this is the last can of the Buenos Vibras. It's the Mexican lager. But I said, like anything with Almanac, you can't go wrong. Full of flavor, nice crisp taste. So, thank you again, Almanac.
What do you got? One, Carl?
I'm just on the wagon tonight. Sorry.
Oh. It's understandable, because I'm drinking for 2 with the Big Love IPA, 9% alcohol content. This is great just before you take a long nap. It will enforce the nap.
Get over that narcolepsy.
This is the big brother of the Love Hazy IPA, which is my favorite Almanac beer. And this one, I wouldn't recommend having 2. It's got a slightly different taste, a little bit heavier, but still very good. So try this one time, just one. Maybe a sippy cup first. I'm liking it.
All right. Well, thanks again to Almanac. And if you're out in California, sorry, Carl. Go ahead.
I was going to say we have to see if Rob makes it to the end of the program now.
Right.
Yeah. It's okay. I got a seatbelt in my chair, so I'm good.
All right. Well, if you're out visiting in the Bay Area, stop by Alameda. It's a must stop. I mean, it's worth booking a trip from Maryland or wherever to come out, or from Bellevue, Nebraska, for example, to come out to Alameda and visit the brewery. The beers are outstanding, good people. And if you tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, they may take pity upon you.
Hey. All right. Let's get into another round of questions. Carl, what do you got?
All right, so I'm just curious, and I'll throw it out there. I mean, we all know that if you're going to move up as a field player, you got to hit. But as a pitcher, you're not really hitting. And then when you look at the stats of what you're doing, your win-loss looks good. Your strikeout to ball ratio, walks ratio looks good. You seem to be progressing pretty well. All right, what happened?
Well, I think what happens is it's okay. It's
Lean back away.
Yeah. No, I mean, for one, the game of baseball is a beast, and it's extremely competitive, and every year you got a draft, right? So that means 40 plus new guys are coming in. Where do those other 40 go? And, I just think that for me, I don't know if it was maybe velocity but it all comes down to projectability and where they can see you. Do they see you being down the future helping the big league club? And I think a lot of people would argue that I could have and probably should have, but it just comes down to, I think, there's other guys that are very good out there, and I don't like to, knock anybody because there's, especially the Cardinals organization. I think that was an organization that took a lot of pride in their pitching. All those arms that we had down there, and from the lowest level in the minor leagues all the way up to the big leagues. I mean, those guys, I know recently, the Cardinals haven't been as good as they have been in the past, but I mean, they still have all the arms. But we also had a couple other relievers that threw similar to the way I did, that were already a little more, how do I say it? Like, they had been throwing sidearm, at the AA, AAA level longer than I was kind of starting it out. And I think, working with pitching coaches and stuff like that on new grips, they wanted to see pitches that would do more of a up and down plane. And I was very left to right with slight kind of curve. I mean, that's what my pitches did. So, and they would constantly talk to me about, you got to find something that does more of that up and down plane. And it was a struggle for me because, I mean, at the NAIA level in college, I was just getting by with, throwing fastballs into right-handed hitters and sliders away to right-handed hitters, two seams away from the lefties, and getting in on their hands. And so I got by with that at that level. And I think as players get better, and we all progress, I think they just saw that maybe I wouldn't have that success. But it's hard because I really didn't feel like I got that opportunity, or that chance to actually show that maybe that stuff would have played. But I think everything happens for a reason. I love where I'm at in life, and I got to play a child's game for that every kid dreams of doing, and just trying to make it to that point. And the fact that I did, and also coming from an NAIA team where I really didn't expect to be picked up. I thought, after that season was over. But I think what happened was, I mean, we were talking earlier about the NAIA World Series. Tons of scouts were there. And I think after the Montgomery game and the Lewis and Clark game, I could feel that energy. I mean, people were talking about me, talking to me, and I was like, oh, maybe this is something, that I sparked some interest in some people's eyes, that because I was a natural competitor. I loved to I was, loud and not disrespectful, but I mean, I felt that energy, and I loved to be out there, and I think people were attracted to that. So, and I took it to professional ball. And I remember being talked to a couple times by some of the coaches. They said, hey, you got to dial it down a little bit out here. You can't be too amped up all the time, because, at that level, it's a roller coaster. But I do feel like I had a lot of success with it, and people loved watching me pitch. I mean, all the different minor league teams I played with, I always had parents and, kids coming up and asking about me, and they're just like, I love watching you pitch. You're an amazing competitor out there, and you bring a lot of energy. But I mean, overall, it was.
Would you say that there were, in the guys you were playing with, there were multiple guys throwing from like the same arm slot, but had different movement on the ball, or were you all kind of about the same?
Well, I think that's where so the other two guys that I remember specifically, they did have the pitches that, can they could bring it straight down with whether it was a changeup or some sort of split. I remember working a little bit with Jason Isringhausen. He's a great pitcher, and in spring training, I think we spent almost like 2 weeks developing like some sort of changeup for me because I struggle with the straight up circle change because it would just from that slot it would just kind of come out and it would almost like curve or like kind of cut, and that's not what I was going for. So then we started like working with because he threw a big splitter, and that's when he said, let's try something, and we just kind of split the fingers a little bit and rotated that ball inside of my hand. So it was like a sinker splitter change basically mixed, and it started to work, but I think just the inconsistency was the hardest part because I could throw one that was just like, ooh, how do I do that again? But
I think that's
Story of my life.
yeah. But
What would you? I got one last little follow up.
Yeah.
So on the staff, would you say that it was much more competitive with the right-handed pitchers versus the left-handed?
oh, absolutely. I thought we had way more right-handed pitchers, especially relievers, than we did lefties, and lefties are so weird. But those guys.
Wait a minute. Let me call her down here.
Well, my daughter's a left-hander as well, and she plays softball, and I always tell her all the time, I'm like, lefties are the weirdest people. Like they're goofballs, But their stuff moves. It just moves differently. It's got this extra life onto it that it's just they got a little bit of the upper hand, but there's not many of them, and they got to be able to throw strikes. So I would say as far as right-handed pitchers and in that organization that I was with, it was very competitive.
Right. Thanks.
Hey, Robbie, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of following up, but you started to talk with Isringhausen and guys like that. Who were some of the great coaches you worked with, and did you ever get like a standout piece of advice that like suddenly slowed the game down for you, or the light went on kind of thing?
Well, I would say he was one that actually I remember I was kind of struggling a little bit because the coaches that we had kept telling me, you got to find a different way to get guys out. You need another pitch. You need need different movement that isn't the same consistencies. And I started kind of getting down because I couldn't find that. And I remember Jason he was just watching me throw one day, just playing catch. And he ended up like telling the guy I was with to just kind of step off, let's play catch together. And then we just started doing that for almost like, it was a good 2 weeks, like I said. And he just, even though he was a little bit older, that guy could still chuck a ball. And like, I was like, man, this guy, you could see why he was great. Right.
Right.
But also just listening to how he talked and his calmness, it made me calm, and I could actually just sit back and soak it in to, try to find what worked for me because he didn't throw the way I threw. So I guess in a way I was kind of goofy as well. And everybody thought that it looked funky. And because, as sidearmers, you kind of hunch over, you do these weird, things like that to throw people off and make it look as funny as you can. So that way, it kind of takes their attention off of what you're trying to do. But I would say he was my favorite to talk to. But other than that, getting any chance to talk with like Adam Wainwright or I'm trying to think who else.
Was there any guys that you like had hoped to talk to and looking forward to it, and then they were kind of a letdown?
No, not really. Actually, they
Good.
were all really nice. I mean, we even used to do like chapels and stuff like that on Wednesdays and Sundays. And Matt Carpenter and Adam Wainwright were some of the leaders of that. And in that, you get to actually see these guys outside of baseball with their families and all that. And I think that was really cool because you realize that baseball, there's so much more than, baseball in life, and seeing their families with them. But Yadier Molina, that was probably one of my favorite experiences too. Just kind of because I did get to throw with him, and that was, I don't think there was a better feeling than that. Just because, I mean, he's one of the greatest catchers to ever play this game. So just having him back there, just receiving those pitches, it was a dream come true.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you get the little head nod from him, like that's a good
Oh,
pitch.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. I'm good.
I threw a slider in the dirt to him, and he kind of looked at me like, nah. And got it back, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
All right, hey, Leland, I want to follow up on what Carl had asked you. So you get your walking papers from the Cardinals, but you're not ready to call it quits yet. How did you connect with the Lincoln Salt Dogs? And how was that experience playing back in Nebraska again? How did that play out?
So I'm trying to remember because I remember when I got released, I had talked to Dwayne Monlux, who was my coach at Bellevue University, and we were talking, and at that time I was pretty beat up as far as like my emotion towards the game. I was a little disappointed and frustrated, all the feelings that anybody I'm sure feels when you're told that your time is up. But he said, we got the Lincoln Salt Dogs here. That's a semi-pro team that is 45 minutes from where Bellevue was, because that's in the capital Lincoln there, where the Huskers play. And so I remember getting in contact. I can't remember his name, but he was the GM at the time, and I got in contact with him, and he kind of looked up some of my stats, asked me to come out and throw a bullpen, and he was like, "Yep, I want you right away." And basically pitched for the majority of that season, and then I think I started to lose a little bit of that passion and the love for the game, because it was kind of like not to knock anything, but it's at that level, it was kind of more of like a glorified men's league type of thing. It was, you show up 45 minutes to an hour before game time, you get dressed, you might play a little catch, you might do, but you just, I didn't feel that same structure and the same amount of effort and stuff like that from everybody else. So it was kind of just like, I just remember being out there, and it was just wasn't the same, and didn't get as many people at the games. So that was also tough. And I think all just, an accumulation of all of those aspects of it, I just started to kind of lose that passion. But what's crazy is I still throw all the, like, any chance I can with some buddies or other dads and stuff like that. And it's funny to hear them talk that they're like, "Man, you have got a live arm," and all that kind of stuff like that. Because I try to show off every once in a while.
Yeah.
I let it fly maybe like a couple times a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
You got to.
Throw
I mean,
harder. I think
you got to realize, like, you're looking at 4 guys right on here that would love to have gotten released by the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody that you're playing catch with feels that same way.
Yeah.
Hey, being released by the Salt Dogs would have been an effort.
Yeah. True.
I think that one was a very mutual.
Mutual parting of the ways. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
Marty,
I just think
you got anything you want to ask Leland, or have you asked him everything already?
Do this, but I mean, we're all familiar with that silly movie Bull Durham. But what was it, a bus league? For Peoria, when you're playing for Peoria?
Oh yeah, we traveled everywhere by bus.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was there any high jinks to memory? What was the best party town in that league? I don't. You were very much for partying, if I remember.
I really wasn't.
Go ahead. Yeah. So
I was gonna say I really wasn't much of a party goer, I guess, while I was playing, just because I didn't want to have any reason for anybody to say like this is why you didn't make it, and that you're not progressing or not getting better and all that kind of stuff like that. So I never really took part in a lot of the extracurriculars, but as far as like just experience, I mean, it was just fun to be on that bus, and I mean, we all were dippers and stuff like that too. So everybody was. I don't know if any of you guys do it, but I tried some Dominican dip, and that was. It's like a tar. It's like a tar. That stuff. I had it in. I remember sitting on the bus, and I had it in for maybe like not even 3 minutes, and I just sat there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then all the Latin guys were laughing at me, and that was also. It's really cool too about the professional, organization like that is you're mixing in with international players and getting to know some of those guys on personal levels and stuff like that was really cool just because, I mean, you get to see their culture and what they grew up with. And a lot of those guys, it was crazy too, because they don't, a lot of them didn't go to schools or anything like that. They went to baseball school. And I'm like, that sounds so nice. You guys are lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been my first choice of class.
Right.
Baseball. Yeah. All right. Hey, let's see. We got.
Let me do a follow-up.
Sure, go for it.
All right. There's a new rule coming out this year, and you saw it at the Aces games. They're going to do the
challenge.
The challenge.
Oh yeah.
What's your opinion of that?
This is where the catchers can call the challenge, right? Is this what we're talking
the pitchers
about?
can too.
Oh, the pitcher can.
The pitcher can and the batter. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think if I was still playing and a moment came where I was allowed to make a decision and like challenge something, would I do it? Absolutely. But I do think that it takes away from the history of the game. I mean, that's why you have umpires. This is why you have, it's everybody makes mistakes. And I don't know. It's hard for me to, I love the TrackMan, stuff like that, where you got that nice square, the strike zone, and you watch that ball come across and it might just graze that, the paint. And just because a little sliver of that baseball is highlighted, that's a strike. But it's, I think it's human error and that's his decision back there or hers. Now we got female umpires and, it's a challenge for them as well. I mean, they're seeing different arms and different people come into pitch and everybody's stuff moves differently. Some people throw harder. So for their eyes to see what they see and be able to make judgment calls on the fly and that quick, I mean, you got to appreciate what they do too. So I don't want to take anything away from umpires because that's the culture. That's the history of the game. And I feel like we're slowly evolving to this almost like a video game.
Yeah.
And so it is hard to see, I mean, even though I can somewhat relate to the movement in this, because I remember coming into the first year with the Cardinals and they started, doing all that TrackMan stuff like that. And, all these monitors around the bullpen while you're throwing, and then it would do your spin rates and all that kind of stuff and where the projection of that pitch would be before you would even throw it. And it's like, it's beyond me, but, I just like to play the game. I like to watch the game and I like to see the highs and lows. And even when people mess up and umpires and it's a beautiful thing. So I don't really know quite how I feel about it, but
okay, cool. All right.
It's like everything else. Everything's changing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everybody reacts to it over the next couple of years, and I'm sure you'll get and hear lots of feedback from the guys that are actually playing and umpires that are like, why do I even come out here then? Because pretty soon it'll be robots back there and out there making calls. But
and I think a lot of umpires see the robots taking over their jobs.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll sue Major League Baseball.
yeah.
Oh,
It would be sad not to see him back there, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, let me do a quick rundown of things going on at Mic'd Up. You are watching us on the Mic'd Up Network. This platform is proof of concept of sports shows that are out there. And if you want to participate in the show and want to send us a question or a comment for Leland, just hit the mic at the bottom of the screen. And you've got 30 seconds to record something for Leland. We'll play it live on the air. We'll make fun of it, and maybe you'll get your question answered.
And you'll never do it again.
Yeah. We got a couple of shows coming up tomorrow. Will Hopkins is going to host his third episode of Dogs Hoops. That's Georgia basketball. And Will has had a couple of shows on already to discuss the team and how they're doing this season. He is on at 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. And then John Rieger from the PGA will have a show tomorrow. It's 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And John is doing a new show called the Warrior Companion Podcast, where he is interviewing folks that have companion dogs that participate in sports. So he's got a couple of guys on the show tomorrow to talk sports and having dogs as companions in these efforts. So that will be tomorrow as well. So please continue to join us on the show here. We love having you listen in. We've got lots of questions stacked up for Leland here. Big Juicy has sent in a question. We haven't heard from Big Juicy in a while. Good to have you back. All right. Hey, Robbie, why don't we start playing in some of these, and then we'll finish off with a few of our own.
All right.
Hey, Leland, Teddy Bear here. Who was the toughest pitcher you faced in the minors? And also, who was the pitcher that you had the most ownage on?
Clearly, he misunderstood the assignment.
Oh, it's okay. Well, the toughest
that happens
pitcher
a lot,
I faced
Leland,
was,
with old people. Yeah.
Yeah. The pitcher I faced was a pitching machine.
He must be really enjoying his almanac here.
So we could invert the question, right? Invert the question, toughest hitter and all of that.
Oh no, or we can say, Leland, in watching the games, who was the toughest pitcher that you saw, or who
played
was the
with,
toughest pitcher that you played against? So yeah.
So, all right. So when I was in Johnson City, as far as pitchers that I saw, I remember that Gratterall guy that's with the Dodgers right now.
Bruce Starr.
Yeah, Bruce Starr. Yes. Man, that dude could throw flame balls. Didn't know where they were going. And I remember a lot of our guys just standing there like, you know, it's not that I can't hit it, but it's just like, I don't want to get hit by this thing, because he was just hitting guys left and right. But I did get to face Vlad Jr., and that was, I'm sure you guys could look it up, but he's hit one off of me that I don't think it's still in orbit somewhere. So.
Hey, Leland, I'm looking at this. You gave up 2 home runs in the minor leagues, so I guess one of them was to Vlad.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. Not too upset about that.
Hey, Leland, Teddy Bear again. Hey, when the major league guys go through your minor league organization during rehab, what was one of the most fun things, or what was the best thing that the major league player did for you guys while he was with your club? Buy you dinner, take you out? What did he do?
Yeah, a lot of the guys, they would probably go. I remember couple times, some of the guys, they would take us out to some of the local restaurants and, you know, splurge and get us some good food. But mostly it was, they would come down and they had all the gear and, you know, the nice cleats and turfs, maybe some gloves, you know, all that kind of good stuff like that. It was nice because they would just give you their hand-me-downs, but those hand-me-downs are like gold to you,
Right.
you know. But
That's
I mean,
cool. That's cool.
I didn't get to, you know, interact too much with a lot of those guys because when they are on rehab assignments, they're mostly in the training rooms, and a lot of that is individual. They kind of go out onto separate fields, and at least that's how I remember it. You know, they go in there, they get their treatment, and then they would go out with somebody that it's actually a trainer, and they would catch them or, you know, pitch to them or whatever position they played. It was all, you know, based off of that, and that's kind of how their rehab went. And you really didn't see a whole lot of them, but off the field, yeah, they would treat us to good food and sightseeing, I should say.
All right. Excellent. Excellent.
All right, we'll jump to Big Juicy and then we'll go back to Teddy Bear.
Hey, Leland, good to see you. Glad you're adding a little high life to the low life here. Hey, I wanted to ask if you had a situation where you had a major leaguer, MLB player come and do a rehab assignment with you, and if so, what did that do to the team chemistry and clubhouse and on the field?
Yeah, so I mean, I think when you see those guys at first, you're a little intimidated. You know, you see them, you're like, I don't know if I should talk to them, or they probably don't want to talk to us because we're just, you know, the grunts that just came in trying to take their jobs probably eventually. But, you know, a lot of them, I never really had a bad interaction. I should just say that. All the guys were very encouraging because they started at the lowest part too. I mean, and you know, they were fortunate and got to the highest level of baseball, and I think that they would pass on their wisdom and words of encouragement to kind of help us, you know, tailor how we would go through each day and the workouts and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think just chemistry, it's good for the younger guys to see some of those guys that come down because they're humbled by it as well. I think, you know, they realize that it's, in the end, it is a game, and I think that we all love it. We all love it so much. That's why we chose to you know, take that on and want to play this game. And so I think nobody has it out for each other. Everybody wants to, and we want to see them get back there too, because, you know, maybe it was something unfortunate that, or why they got hurt, and you'd like to see them back in the big leagues doing what the fan base and everybody else wants to see. So, and when they get there, it's nothing but, you know, excitement and encouragement for them as well. So I think it's really cool. And then those are relationships that we get to carry on for the rest of our lives too, even though that it might have been a day or an hour or a couple of weeks to get to hang out with that individual, but it's, you know, memories that last a lifetime. So
Yeah.
Cool. Now we're back to Teddy Bear.
TV again. Hey, going through some of the Stockton Ports games with the boys there. I have to ask, what is the strangest or funniest promotion night that you ever played through?
oh, funniest for me.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Well, I'm trying to think because we had so many of them. I would probably say we did what do you call that? Like the space kind of night. They call it the
Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Not Star Wars. It was like
Area 51, Alien?
kind of, yeah, it was like an alien themed night, and I remember, you know, all these individuals coming out and in their little costumes and whatnot, and I just remember like I was down in the bullpen, and this alien looking thing comes up behind me, and I'm just like leaned up against on the rails, and he comes up, and I just remember like jumping over the fence because it scared the heck out of me. And I kind of like ran onto the field a little bit, but you just hear all the people up in the, above you in the crowd and stuff like that, laughing and talking some smack. But I think, well, just to kind of go off of that, one of my favorite experiences was we played a team in Arkansas, and I can't remember who they were the affiliate for, but me and like all the other bullpen guys, we set up like those little Dixie cups, that you fill up your Gatorade or water with in the bullpen, and we kind of packed them in with dirt, and there was a pavilion above the bullpen, so we would have all these kids chucking quarters and try to make them in the cups, and we'd set out like a broken bat or some batting gloves or a pair of, somebody's cleats that they didn't want. And sometimes, I remember 2 times in that series, amongst us pitchers, we split like $180. I was like, here we go. We got a nice side business here. Like, this is great.
Wow.
All these quarters, and like, some kids would run out of money, and I was like, go tell your mom, go tell your dad. We're here all night.
Come on, your parents are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
It was beer money.
Yeah.
This is sort of a follow-up or the next step, obviously.
What was the best clubhouse prank you ever saw pulled while you were in your baseball career, whether it be college or minors or wherever?
Best clubhouse prank, I would say the classic, what is it? The Ben Gay and the jock trap. That happened several times, and that was happened to me once, and it does not feel too good. But just
no.
I think just setting things in guys' lockers that would like just pop or explode. Like some say some rosin bags or something like that, and but nobody really did anything too much because we were all poor minor league players at the time, so nobody really messed with each other's stuff too much. But a lot of towel slapping, all that, all that kind of stuff. But as far as pranks, I can't really remember any crazy pranks. If I do, I will come back to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna think.
Yeah. They all taught us the 3-man lift at fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Where you get one unsuspecting victim, and you get a rube, and you say, okay, hey, I think I, just by myself, can lift 3 men in the air.
Okay.
And no, there's no way. And there's lots of betting going back and forth because everybody in the room except for the rube knows what's going to happen next. So no, I don't think you can do it. You can do it. So they put 3 people on the floor and they lock arms. Well, the guy in the middle is absolutely helpless. That's your rube.
Right.
And once you lean in to do your lift of the 3 people, everybody in the room goes and douses this guy with toothpaste, shaving cream, talcum powder, whatever. And he's helpless. He can't get away. So
chewing tobacco.
That's a 3-man
That's
lift.
great. Yeah. I like that one. I never got to see anything like that. So that does sound fun, though. To watch. I wouldn't want to have that happen.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, got another one?
Well, yeah, I guess I'll just stay on that same theme. I had a serious question, but I think I'll go with this one. What was the best heckle you ever had hurled at you? It could be from another player, or a coach, or a fan, but somebody had to have broken you at one point.
Well, I was kind of a big guy. I was like 240, I think, when I was playing. And everybody kept this one group of people kept playing that Apple Bottom Jeans song and kept saying that like I got a dump. I got a dumper, and, just making fun of my butt and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, because So also, remember how I was telling you the way I pitched, I kind of like would hunch over, and I was like right there, so my butt was just always out there, and just like every time, you know, we get the little fart noises or whatever, and it's just okay.
uh,
But
I'm
then I
sorry I missed
go
that.
strike out the side, and I give him a little shake or something. I don't know.
Perfect.
All right. Hey, Robbie, you got one more here?
Well, I had a serious question because I think you came up in the era where like travel ball and year-round baseball was as a youth. I'm sure you went through all of that stuff. We all have friends that are former ball players that for years have they're not fans of that. They like kids going out and playing three sports, two or three sports a winter fall because they felt it gave a better dynamic. You learn different ways to operate in a team concept and all of that stuff. So I was curious where you fell in that because I mean I tend to sort of agree with the it is cool to play basketball and maybe football or soccer and your dynamic changes from baseball, but you're still in a team and I where do you fall on that? I mean, how do you feel? It's so prevalent now, touring and travel ball.
Oh, I agree. Well, I played basketball and football as well, so and those were actually my favorite sports. I enjoyed those more than I did baseball. But you know, you take the different aspects of the different sports and things that you played, and I think it just makes you a better, well-rounded athlete. I agree with what you said with that. But this game, I think this new day and age, like where they're trying to encourage kids to find that one sport, like and stick with that. It's it's hard for me. I guess I would say I would be a hypocrite of that because our our daughter, she does travel softball, and you know I was coaching for a while and always out there, and it's extremely competitive right now. She's 12, playing, you know, with a local team called the Firecrackers, but she started out with another travel team, and you know the drama of the development of other players and stuff like that, and maybe your daughter does starting to excel a little bit faster than the other one, so then you move on to another travel team, and then but then it takes away from the rec, or it takes away from your middle school teams, and which she does play volleyball, which is great because volleyball I think for her is great because it's teaching her speed, hand-eye coordination, and just agility in general, and she's fast and she can steal and all those kind of things. And she's so much fun to watch. And I think that since being a part of her life, I think that she's starting to appreciate kind of where I came from. And she likes to pick my brain a little bit, you know, about the game. And I love to just offer anything I can to help her development because now I put a lot of my pride and efforts into, you know, her success. And she wants to play college ball. She wants to do all that kind of stuff. And now college ball is way different than even when I played. Now you get NIL money and
Right.
different levels of scholarships and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to encourage all kids really to, you know, don't try to narrow it down to one sport because I mean, kids get burned out pretty quick. And you don't want to see that either, especially the ones that have athleticism and so much potential to be good at whatever they do. And to just narrow mind it into one sport, I think you're limiting yourself to your potential and possibilities. And so yeah, I like the multi-sport athlete um,
Yeah.
game still. I think that's it goes a long ways.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Good.
Hey, Carl, you got another question?
I guess it just, you know, you were talking about coaching your daughter, and then now you've kind of stepped away a little bit. As a parent, how are you feeling about that now? Because you know you've been personally involved with her for so long, and now you're more of a spectator parent than just a parent coach. I'm guessing.
Yep. yeah, now this travel team that she's playing on, I just get to be a spectator. I get to sit with my fiance, and we just get to sit back and enjoy being a parent and watching your kid play. And it's beautiful because, there's lots of times where she wants to look up and, want to, you could see the tension and the frustration in their face and stuff like that. And they want to talk to you, but that's how they learn. That's how, they grow and get better. So I just try to step back. We both step back and just let her do her thing and take that criticism, whether it's good or bad, from her coaches, and just try to keep getting better every day. And that's, and then at the end of the game, when we just get to talk about it, I let her just vent how she felt about the game, and then I'll, chime in here and there. But this is her journey. I've already had mine. Now it's just to sit back and enjoy that, because I'm sure for my parents watching me grow and getting that opportunity to play a little professional baseball, I'm sure it was nothing but pure joy and happiness and gratitude for everything that they did for me and giving me the opportunities to play this game, because, not a lot of kids get the opportunities. And, luckily we're fortunate to put her in all the positions to have everything she needs. And now it's up to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, Robbie, you want to play in that last question?
Oh, sure.
Teddy Bear here again. Hey, what do you miss most about playing, and what do you not miss at all now that you're not playing?
What I miss the most, I would say, is just the camaraderie, the sounds of the game, the smell of it, that competition when you step in, it's you and that hitter, you and your catcher. And because there's not a lot of things in life that are even comparable to that. We don't get that crazy adrenaline rush and having your name, set on the loudspeakers and your picture coming up on a jumbotron and all that kind of stuff like that. But that's probably the one thing I would miss the most, is just being around those guys and how we could all wake up and do the same thing every single day for, the same hopes, the same dreams. And it's crazy because I remember when it was all over, I didn't even really get a chance to, this is how kind of cutthroat it is I remember getting the tap on my shoulder as I was entering the clubhouse. And at that time, it was like 7:15, 7:30 in the morning from what I remember. And in the process that I had that meeting with, the GM and all the uppers of the organization when they released me. And by the time I got back to start kind of clearing out my locker, everybody's gone. Everybody's already out on the field. So I didn't even get a chance to, and it happens to pretty much everybody when this does happen, but you don't get that opportunity to actually say your goodbyes. And you just hope that you can remain in contact with some of those guys. But life is crazy, and sometimes it doesn't even work out that way, and you don't stay in touch as much as you would like to with certain people. And I would say that's probably the thing that I miss the most, is just having that, because like I said, it was just so much fun to wake up and play a child's game at the age of 23, 24 years old. And whether you got to make a little money or not, it was just, that's not what it was about. It was just playing that game and just living a dream. So, but yeah, that's what I would have to say.
And what do you not miss?
What do I not miss? People making fun of my butt.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go. That's a perfect end to the show.
Yes, that's a perfect end of the show. Hey, Leland, thank you for indulging us on the show. We had a great time.
Thanks for having me.
No, this
Yeah,
is great.
we will be visiting Marty in Reno sometime this year for the annual Lowlife trip up to Reno.
Okay.
And we want to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be
we
awesome.
need to get together.
Well, guessing he's got a spot to eat, so
There you go.
All right.
we'll
have
we're
our
there.
we'll
Sunday
bring you guys
breakfast.
in, We'll have some food and maybe I don't know what time of the year you guys are coming. We can. There's tons of games coming out here now.
Oh yeah.
We got hockey.
We'll find a weekend where they're in town and
Oh, yeah.
we'll put it together.
Oh yeah.
We'll put
That'll
it
be fun. Hey,
Good.
thanks again. And
Yeah,
Carl,
absolutely.
you got to come up for this. For our Reno trip.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
go
Yeah.
ahead. You can
Play
play us
out?
out, Robbie.
All right, play it out. All right.
From Lowlifes.
Professional operation.
Highlights.
Told you, like,
From
Thanks, Dominic.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. That was fun.
Good night.
All right.